Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist John Marshall, updating on the latest on Hurricane Matthew. Hurricane Matthew made landfall in the western peninsula of Haiti at 7 o'clock this morning as a Category 4 with winds sustained at 145 miles an hour. It has since lost a little bit of its high cloud tops, or the colder cloud tops, but it is still packing winds of 145 miles an hour, which is quite amazing. This peninsula right here in Haiti is quite mountainous, and these storms, once they go over land in the mountainous areas, it tends to rip up the hurricane a little bit. It has done so in its cloud pattern, but the Hurricane Center still says that this storm has winds of 145 miles an hour, and it is now over water and beginning to get a little bit of the higher cloud tops. You see the reds and the blacks. This is the tip of Cuba, the eastern tip. So it is going to make landfall in the next couple of hours over the eastern tip of Cuba. And I've got a fascinating radar from the Hurricane Hunter aircraft showing you the 30-mile diameter eye right there, that big old donut. And you guys know from Meteorology 101 that the eye of the hurricane is calm, and it's basically a great day in the middle of this thing. Outside, look at the eye wall. Tremendous amount of wind and rain. That storm continues to move north at about 10 miles an hour. Eastern Cuba, you're next for the wrath of Matthew, as this mighty Matthew continues to move north at about 8 to 10 miles an hour. Now, the big question has been, let me get back to this though. Haiti, unfortunately, has seen a tremendous amount of devastation. These people are poverty-stricken down there. You know, the earthquake that happened in 2010. Many live in tents along the mountainsides. We're going to obviously, unfortunately, again, hear a lot of bad news out of that country. Matthew has really torn apart the western part of Haiti, but this eye continues to move north. Again, has not lost a lot of its structure in the radar representation of the storm, and it continues to move north at about 10 miles an hour. Now, lots to talk about. Have there been any updates or changes? Yes. For us, maybe some better or more encouraging news once the hurricane gets north of the Cape Hatteras on North Carolina latitude. Now, we're going to take a look at the American model, the GFS. I'm going to show you the 500 millibar heights, and what that actually is just an upper level low that is located well east of New Jersey, but we're going to look at this pattern. Again, these are the winds at about 30,000 feet in the Earth's atmosphere. Unfortunately, it looks like Matthew will skirt the Floridian coast. There's a hurricane watch up there. Here's that ridge of high pressure that is pushing the storm to the north. But then, the progressive flow from west to east kicks this storm up off Hatteras and offshore. But how do the two interact, the trough and the hurricane? Sometimes an area of low pressure develops, and it will give us a coastal front that will bring up a lot of heavy rain, possibly with these coastal fronts. So that is a scenario we're going to have to look after. And also, as we take a look right now, the European map shows us this is at the surface. So we're looking at that area of high pressure located over the northern mid-Atlantic. Here comes Matthew barreling toward the Floridian coastline Thursday into Friday. The European does something kind of a little crazy here. It does a loop for the hurricane. Nothing happens over our area and just dwindles down to basically nothing. I don't know if I buy that yet, but what's really interesting here is the storm track, the hurricane tracks. Remember yesterday at this time I said, don't pay attention. All these lines were all over the New York City metropolitan area. They have shifted offshore. So that's even a better sign for me as a meteorologist to tell you we're thinking that this thing will stay offshore. Question is, does it hook right out to sea? Does that coastal front set up? But down to the south and west, look at the area of the strike zone over portions of eastern Florida. If you live or have relatives in Florida, there may be some issues there, obviously, with this hurricane approaching them. But the question around here is, how much rain, if any, do we get from Matthew? Well, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. And we've got a couple of sunny symbols on the map right now. We'll see if Wednesday into Thursday, Friday, looks great. Fall classic temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Saturday, we're watching Matthew. Could it affect our area? It's possible. Again, does that coastal front set up with the hurricane southeast of, let's say, the mid-Atlantic and that trough swinging through, does that set up the formation of some very heavy rain? Still questions to be answered. But obviously, we're here at www.johnmarshallweather.com with a no-nonsense, no-hype forecast. I'm breaking it down for you, telling like it is. Right now, we don't know how much rain, if any, will fall Saturday into Sunday. Stay tuned. Have a great evening. Take care.